battlefield erupted without warning, Russian forces surged forward, advancing from multiple directions. A column of armored Giants tanks reinforced with heavy anti-drone cages rolled toward a shattered frontline village. But before their steel treads could crush resistance, the silence broke. Ukrainian artillery zeroed in. Shells rained down, bursting in deadly precision. The barrage slowed the armored spearhead, but it wasn't enough to stop it. That delay, however, was priceless. It bought Ukraine something far more valuable than destroyed tanks. Within minutes, the skies above the battlefield swarmed with Ukrainian kamikaze drones. Operators locked in, fingers steady. The first drone dived toward the lead Russian tank. The second Russian tank tried to swerve around the wreck. It didn't get far. Another drone screamed in, detonating with surgical precision. But this fight was only beginning. The Russians pushed forward, determined to break through. One tank stood out, draped in steel cable nets, an improvised fortress. Strike after strike hammered it. One drone, two drones, three. Still it lumbered forward. Finally, on the fourth hit, the monster groaned to a halt. Flames poured from its hatch. Moments later, another armored vehicle trailing behind met its own fiery end. Analysts say this new armor design woven with cable nets could take up to 10 drones to destroy. Yet, even then, the math favors Ukraine. A drone costs a fraction of a tank. Each strike tips the balance. Then the Russians tried to gamble. Several tanks charged at full speed, hoping to break the line. But they drove straight into a Ukrainian ambush. FPV drone teams held their fire, waiting, watching until the armor was deep inside the kill zone. Drones tore through the air, striking one after another. Russian crews panicked. Some abandoned their vehicles mid-charge. One crew fled so quickly they left the hatch wide open. It became a fatal mistake. A Ukrainian drone slipped inside, triggering an internal blast that ripped the vehicle apart from within. Desperation drove escalation. After repeated failures in the forest, Russia unleashed the UR-77 Meteorite. Normally a mine-clearing system, it was now twisted into a brutal assault weapon. Its massive charges shook the earth. Shockwaves rolled across Ukrainian trenches. But the defenders stood firm. Then came another escalation, the heavy flamethrower rocket system. The Russians prepared to unleash fire across the battlefield, but Ukrainian intelligence had already intercepted the plan. Moments before the strike, troops pulled back, leaving the Russians to waste their firepower on empty ground. That was the signal. The trap had been set. As Russian vehicles revealed themselves, Ukrainian drone pilots launched their counterattack. Precision strikes rained down. UR-77 seconds were picked off, one by one. A Russian rocket launcher tried to retreat, too slow. An FPV drone intercepted, tearing it apart in a single strike. From a distance, Ukrainian drone teams reshaped the battle. Their craft proved as decisive as any ground assault. Each strike sent a clear message. On today's battlefield, armor alone is no longer enough. Steel can shield, cables can deflect, but in the age of drones, survival is never guaranteed.